Hi, just wanted to give y'all some quick information about formatting dialogue and method of development and syntax. So we're going to start with formatting dialogue. You're working on your narrative essays right now, and often when telling a story, you will have people talk to each other, in which case you'll need to know how, to format dialogue. Okay. So if you look at the handout here, and I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because you can read, but I will just point out some things. So um, in the handout, it speaks here that dialogue makes the story dynamic, enlivens the character, and moves the action along unobtrusively, meaning that instead of just giving directions in your writing, like Tom walked down the street, you can get information across. You can move the plot forward with dialogue. A character could ask Tom, "Why did you walk down the street?" So that's the first thing to point out. The second thing is that dialogue is surrounded by quotation marks. So dialogue is the exact things that characters say. It needs to be in quotation marks so it's clear to the reader that this is spoken word. So as you see, we have quotation marks here before so, and then after the question mark. There's no space here after the quotation mark or before the quotation mark here. They go around the words that were spoken. In dialogue, the period or comma should come before the end quote and not after. Another way to say that is in American English, this is not true in British English, the period or the comma goes inside the quotation marks as it does here. Okay. Quotes can be mixed with narration so that a quote ends and is immediately followed by narration and then starts again. In these cases, either a comma or a period is used to break apart the quote. So for instance, let's say here the name is Bond, period. He looked up, period, James Bond. Or the name, comma, he said, comma, is Bond, period, James Bond. Another point to consider is when to change paragraphs, and the rule is very simple. When the point of view changes, so too does the paragraph. So whenever you have a new speaker or the point of view changes, you have to start a new paragraph. So indent, new paragraph, and you can see what that looks like right here. You see all of these are indented. Each line is a new speaker. So that's what the dialogue will look like on the paper. Okay. So the second thing that I wanted to look at are fragments and run-ons. Okay. So in order to have a complete sentence, you need to have 5 things. 3 things are super important. 2 have to do with American English and other languages, but I speak American English, and that's what we're teaching. You must have a subject, a verb, and a complete thought to be a sentence, and we'll see that information right here. Technically, you also need to have the first letter in the sentence should be capitalized, and there needs to be end punctuation, period, a question mark, an exclamation point. So when we're thinking about things that make a complete sentence, we have here, John waited. We have a subject, we have a verb, we have a complete thought. So this is a complete sentence, even though it is only 2 words. So length of a sentence does not matter. It doesn't matter how long or how short it is, as long as it's punctuated properly. It will be a complete sentence. You see here, we've added to the sentence, John waited. And that's when things can get complicated and we can lose track. But if we know our parts of speech, which are noun, verb, pronoun, adjective, adverb, interjections, articles, prepositions, and conjunctions, then we can make sure that we do have a subject and a verb. So if we were to look here, we've added for the bus and all morning. We still have John waited, just like we do up here. But now we have a prepositional phrase and an adverb phrase telling us where something's happening. He's waiting for the bus, and then when. You can also add in the rain. Last Tuesday, once again, where something happens, in the rain, and when, last Tuesday. We can add wishing he'd brought his umbrella. So this is a participle phrase. We've turned the verb wish into a participle by adding ing, and it's basically working as an adverb telling that while John's waiting, he's wishing. And then we can even add and dreaming of his nice warm bed. Same thing, it's a participle phrase. We've also added determined to make it to class for his test, another adverb phrase. So you can see we've added a ton of information, but we know this is a complete sentence because we have the original two words, John waited. The stuff that we've added to these sentences are called subordinate clauses, subordinate meaning or dependent clauses, that they can't stand on their own. Because his car was in the shop, cannot stand on its own. It's an incomplete thought. All of these phrases here have subjects and verbs, but they don't have complete thoughts. We have rain, we have stops, we have you, we have take, we have car, was, we have you and asked, and we have you want. We have subject and verbs. We don't have complete thoughts, so none of these here are sentences. Okay. When you have these words listed here, subordinating conjunctions, you can be fairly confident that you have dependent clauses, and if they're standing on their own, they will be sentence fragments. Okay. I did want to point out, I think it's up here. So what makes the thought incomplete? It's the first word. In the cases right above here, the words are because, after, when, since, and if. These words are subordinators, and they make these thoughts not complete. Okay. Run-on sentences are essentially when you put two complete sentences together in one sentence without separating them properly. Here is a run-on sentence. My favorite Mediterranean spread is hummus. It is very garlicky. Excuse me. You can see that you would need to put some punctuation right here in order to join these two sentences together. My favorite Mediterranean spread is hummus is a sentence. It is very garlicky is a sentence. In order to join those, there's several ways. You could use a semicolon. So you put it right here. You could use a comma and a coordinating conjunction. That's a fanboy conjunction. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, or so. Like it's done right here. Or you could use a subordinating conjunction. My favorite Mediterranean spread is hummus, and then because. So those are all ways to join. Oh, sorry. You can also just make two sentences. See here. with period. So these are all ways to get rid of the run-on sentence. You cannot simply add a comma between the two sentences, the two independent clauses, because then you'll end up with what's called a comma splice, and this is what this looks like. It's simply when you put the comma right there without a conjunction or anything else. In order to find run-ons, turn your sentence into a question. Is my favorite Mediterranean spread hummus? Yes, so that's fine. However, you could not turn is my favorite Mediterranean spread hummus, it is very garlicky, into a question. It would have to be two questions. Is my favorite Mediterranean spread hummus, and is it very garlicky? So that will let you know that is a run-on sentence. So that is a way to tell if you have a run-on sentence, and a little bit about fragments and run-ons. The other thing I wanted to mention is method of development. There is a discussion board post due, and what you will need to do for that post is read the essay called Beer Can by a writer named John Updike, and read the information on method of development. There is a handout as well as a web page listing different types or different methods of development. And so what you want to do is read the short essay and decide, how is it developed? How does it move from the beginning to the end? Is it in chronological order? Is it a compare and contrast? Is it a description? Is it moving from specific to general? Or is it moving from general to specific? Is it cause and effect? And so you'll want to read the essay, read the information, as I said, on methods of development, decide how the essay is developed, and then write your discussion post on that. I hope you're having a good week.